we locked him in, man, it was like I went into panic mode because, like you said, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to get him out of there. I'm like, oh man, we gotta call the police. They're gonna lock us up with trespass. I'm on parole.
I thought all that. I was still on parole at the time too.
I'm gonna be the laughing stock of the conference. I'm like, man, they gonna be like, man, you dummy. I
came back
on the valley.
into a joint.
Jail. The people let you out.
Yeah, I mean, and to be honest with you, like once you get locked in some of these cells, I mean, you know, this place has been shut down for 20 years. We didn't have nowhere to run to use nothing electrical, so I'll give you a short story. Like when we was in Lawton, and we were not in Lawton because cell popping wasn't a thing for me in Lawton. I don't know about you or Sean, but when I was in the juvenile block, if you had a problem with a person and you couldn't get to them right, you know, you found a way to jam your cell and pop your cell open. People taught me these type of things. I guess we could call them technologies now. But the first thing that I thought, I said that, well, if I could use my mind when I was a teenager to pop the cell to get out to do something bad, I got to be able to recall some of the stuff to use to pop this cell and get us out. So
if we wouldn't have got him out that cell,
yeah, that would have been a big problem. We might not even be here talking about this film. It might have been just, you know, what we done with that.
But we would have had to leave him in there and be like, Slim, listen, we gonna call the people to come get you, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know how to fix it because I'm not turning myself in for you, but
okay.
Tell the people that locked you in there.
Tell him when the people come, tell him, man, he missed jail. He was trying to get back.
Yeah. So,
but at the same
came
time,
back like you left something.
At the same time, like you say, you still had to be careful filming any of these things because I went down there one day with my drone, and I was flying my drone over U Center 1, and they used a laser and knocked my drone out the sky.
Yeah, I heard you say that in the film.
When my drone hit the ground, I knew they used an electrical signal to knock the drone out the sky.
Yeah.
So I grabbed my drone, threw it in my truck, and pulled off. As soon as I pulled off, the police was coming that way.
They was trying to see what was up, huh?
Of course. I got the hell up out of there.
Yeah, so let me get back on track for 1 second. I just had to bring that up because Sean said something about going down there and mentioned the block, so it took me back. But just for the people, you know, so I heard people, and for real, this is one of the first times I haven't heard any type of hate on a project. I'm sure it could be some whispers. We're not going to talk about that. Everything that I've heard was positive, right? But I wanted to ask you, because I heard somebody else ask you this question. I kind of stole this question from them. I wanted to ask you, you know, like what kind of time and energy. Matter of fact, shout out to Gully TV, because Gully TV, I got this question from him because he asked a question to you about what did you use the format and this and that, right? So it made me think of, you know, all the technical work that you had to put in that me and Sean didn't have to put in, right? So what type of time and energy did you have to put into the project? You know, because you did a lot of things behind the scenes once me and Sean was already had done our job.
I'm the type of person, when I get on a project, I live that project. I breathe that project. I sleep that project, right? So when I go to sleep, I'm thinking about the project. When I wake up, I think about the project. I get up 3 in the morning and go down to my basement and just start changing something. Move something around. And add
like Dr. Dre, like you don't want to release the album.
Yeah. So I did countless hours of reading the footage that I actually had with like the newspaper articles. I had to read through every single one of them and put them in place how I wanted it formatted. And I edited and re-edited easily over 100 times. I had somebody else do the narration first. The dude on the brochure.
I met that, bro.
I said, you know what? Let me try it. And then I just started doing it, and then I just let it flow. So instead of it sound like I was reading, it was more like I was having a conversation with the audience.
Yeah, because when you was breaking down a part and you was narrating, you said that Lawton dudes were some bad dudes. Fed dudes didn't want to be around Lawton dudes. Shit, Lawton dudes didn't want to be around Lawton dudes.
You had dudes from D.C. that had federal cases and went straight to the feds that didn't even want to be around Lawton dudes. Matter of fact, you had Lawton dudes that didn't want to be around Lawton dudes.
You added a humor and a specific knowledge that only a Lawton dude or a Fed dude would understand. I don't think you could get that without that. So shout out to you for that. So I hope everybody definitely understand that. You know, man, it take a lot of work to do some of these things, which actually leads me to my next question. And I never articulated this, right? But I definitely want to take the opportunity to articulate this right now. But I want to send a big shout out to Sean, right? Because you actually operated in this whole thing kind of like, you know, a manager or some type of, you know, producer to the point of bringing it together. And I saw a documentary on Netflix the other night that made me think about you. And the old timer's name was Avant. Y'all hip to him?
Yeah.
They call him like the Godfather or something, but he don't play an instrument. He don't sing a song. Like, that's not his talent. His talent was bringing things together from Bill Clinton and Jimi Hendrix are different type of people. And, and I don't want to stroke the situation too much, but me, you, Twin, and many of us, it's the real, guys that been there. We ain't got to get into all that, right? Could have been done a project like this, right? Which lead me to my next question, right? But for you, right, I feel like you kind of brought all this together. Big shout out to Head. What I'm saying? He did have this great idea, right? But I seen, you bring Twin in here. Mm-hmm. You bring me. You call me. You say, hey, can we work together? Can you take us to, that vision in your head, how you made them phone calls and how you pulled us together to say, hey, let's try this?
I mean, what's crazy is because, before any of this happened, we was always men, first and foremost. We was men, friends, and visionaries. So I know your strengths. I know Twin's strengths. I know what my strengths are. So I'm like, you know what? With us three together, Twin behind the camera, I can go in the boardroom. I can set up the meetings. I can get contact with the peoples. You got a gift for researching. I know how you dig into them books, and I know how you find shit. I'm like, how the fuck you find that? So I knew that if I could put us three together, right? And what's the beautiful thing about it is, and I hope that, some of our homies can see this, right? Don't get me wrong, like we never had problems with each other. We was always men. We was always cool, but we from three different parts of the city. And for us to come together and work together and collab together and bring the people's mass a powerful project like this one, man, I hope that, the rest of our homies can learn from that, be inspired by that, and come together. Because if that can happen in our city, man, can't lose.
Man, go ahead, Twin. When I saw the people that came out and, supported the film, people that I knew were specifically supporting Twin, specifically supporting you, specifically supporting me, and then saw people that were supporting us all, like some of our homies that came out and brought their women and their wives. And I'm going to go into that later, so I don't want to get too much in that because I heard some touching stories, right? But when I saw all that, my whole attitude of what I was talking about from there on out when people asked me questions was, and I know it sounds cliche, but I mean it, the teamwork to make the dream work. And, I kind of seen that. But the moving to the next question, just still sticking on that same term, I got a question that came across my mind, and I want to ask you this, Twin. Because as B just said, about us and our homies and all of what we've been through and what we all been, even the people that helped us with this is not here, right? What gives us the credentials and the credibility to do this film? Why us?
Why not us?
What gives us the credentials?
And the credibility.
And the credibility.
Of 91 years of history, we the chosen ones that brought this out.
I think anybody that been through Lawton could have done it. Anybody that had street credibility and been through Lawton could have done it. But you still need the talents and the drive to do it. And I think with our talents and our drive and our respect in the streets and our credibility and respect in the penitentiary also gives us the viability to do that story.
Can you add to that? What you think about
I agree.
That?
I agree.
That answer was he really covered it, but I just want to say, answer that. Why we can do it?
Credibility mean a lot. You know what I mean? And none of us been took for bad down low. None of us been on the flip side of the honorable shit that men must do while you incarcerated. We never been on that other side of that coin right there. So we honorable. The respect level has always been there for all three of us down Lorton. Everybody down Lorton that was meant when we put our footprints on them compounds, man. Respect us. Like Twin say, anybody could have done it. I think that our vision though and our drive it sets us apart from some. I ain't gonna say from most, but from some that probably could have done it. Just, if not the same way we did it, just as good.
I want to add to that. And we're in a unique situation because not only did we serve time in Lawton, but we well respected in the streets, served time in Lawton, well respected in Lawton, and talented enough to create a project.
All right, well, I'm glad you cut in and added that because that took me. I have wrote this little side thing down that I don't want to miss. Because see, a lot of times things are extraordinary and they're extraordinary for so long that they become normal. Would you agree? All right, so I'm about to give you the example. Glad you said that. All right. So it became normal to me and Sean and people that know you, right? Did 100 films, and they shoot movies, and right? Okay, boom. Because now they say, oh, he's a director, right? But I want to remind everybody that all of us was young brothers that was sitting in the cell that had none of these skills, paid no money to nobody to go to no school. Nobody sat us down as an apprentice and said, hey, Sean, I'm going to teach you how to write, and I'm going to teach you how to do all those other things that you learn. Same for you, don't got to repeat it. I'm going to teach you how to write, and I'm going to teach you the business of writing and filmmaking and blah, blah, blah. I'm going to skip myself, right? And now you done shot this film, and you self-taught. So I think some people think that, you know, we guys that became successful, we got a couple dollars and we to pay somebody to do this. But can you let them know that, you know, you taught yourself how to shoot a camera, you taught yourself how to edit? Like, man, how much grind went into that right there? The whole self-taught thing, because somebody said that the other day, say, hey, Mr. Mowatt, this and this and this, and he's self-taught. But can you explain to me how you were self-taught?
Self-taught is like a straight grind. It's almost like somebody that want to be cut up, and you just work out every single day until you get that cut, right? Push-ups, dips, whatever it takes till you get that cut. And that's what I was doing to learn how to edit, to learn how to use a camera, to learn how to write. I literally was doing it every single day for years upon years upon years upon years. Once I came home and I had access to the internet, I was watching YouTube every day. Going on YouTube tutorials to learn how to use a camera, learn how to edit. Edit is real technical. You know, editing is so technical that you always get into roadblocks that the computer's not functioning right, or you don't know how to use this. I go to YouTube. How do you do this? How do you do this? Why am I computer freezing up? Where's my file that I just saved? Why is this file corrupted? You know what I'm saying? I'm on top of it all day, every day till I get it right. And it also comes with creativity, right? Not only the technical part, but you always got to be creative. So you can learn, you can have a camera, you can have an editing software and shoot, and it still be, yeah.
Oh, so that's where the art comes in.
That's when the creativity and the artistic come in, where I shoot from a different angle and I'm editing in a whole different way to make it capture our audience. And then when I add my sounds in the background, sometimes it's subtle. But when I add my sounds in the background and I add my transitions, it's gonna hold you. You ain't gonna be able to get away. You're trapped in a spider web.
And when you see the film, you'll understand what he's saying. But straight up, what you want from this project? What you want to get out of this project, man?
I just want the people to appreciate the work, the time, the effort, the research, the grind, everything that Twin put into it, man. He poured his life into this joint. You know what I mean? And I want the people to really appreciate, you know what I mean, what he was able to create, man, and put together and bring to the people, man. And that's it, man. I'm not looking for anything.
Good answer right there. I thought you was gonna say something like that, and I wrote a question just for you saying something like that. So I want to ask you this right here: how was the whole experience of shooting your first documentary? You know what I'm saying? I seen pictures of you with mics and running audio equipment and directing stuff. I mean, I even got I got some audio of you bossing me around down Lorton. I was doing something while we were supposed to be shooting. I was like, come on, Slip, come on.
Yeah, we trying to get it done, man. We trying to get it done, man.
I grew up in this block right here. My man say this was Sean actual sale right here, right? Look at this little motherfucker. Got my man Larry Moe.
What's happening, Snap?
Good, strong, solid comrade. Yeah.
Come on. Let's do this real quick, y'all. Make it I want to get this
Yeah, we trying to get it done, man. We trying to get it done, man. So, you know, and I seen what it can be, you know what I mean, beforehand. You know, like I say, all of us is visionaries. So once we started on the project, I'm like, oh yeah, this can be major right here, and we gonna make it major. You know what I'm saying? We gonna put that grind there, and we not gonna be down here bullshit. You know what I mean? So let's be down here to work. Let's work. You know what I mean? Let's do all that other shit later, but let's get this footage before somebody come and kick us out of this joint.
Well, they tear it down.
Oh, they tear it down. So it was serious. It was a must that we did that the right way.
Yeah, and I definitely feel like everybody played their role. Even people who, you know, who names is not on it. And I saw, shout out to you for trying to put as many people name at the end, because I know some people always say, oh, they left me out of this. I see you tried to put everybody name in there. Shout out to you for that.
Some of the people names that's on there is just somebody that referred me to somebody else.
Right.
Like when I
Which
needed
was
to-
still important.
Yeah, when I needed an interview, said I need a correctional officer. Oh yeah, I know somebody connect. I'm gonna give you credit for that.
Yeah. Let me ask you that same question too. You know, what you want to get out of this project? What you want from it?
I wanted to springboard into other projects. I want it to be a stepping stone and a foundation that it could go into all different ways. Somewhat like how you see Power, and Power was able to springboard into all these spin-offs. I think this is a foundation because as a documentary, it's like it's an overview anyway. It's a million different stories could spring from it. Even series, or even movie, or even talk shows, or even educational formats for young people to learn about staying the hell out of the prison system. Even taught in a history class where people didn't even know that right where the Supreme Court sits used to be a prison. I think it's a good foundation to springboard into other projects.
I'm glad Twin said that, right? Because you know, we were trying to squeeze over 100 years of history in 90 minutes. 200 years of history in 90 minutes. So it's a lot of footage and it's a lot of history that's still out there. With this particular project, man, hopefully, man, if it find the right home, that whoever the parent of this project become can, you know, expound on it more, can bring more life into this project with the history that we wasn't able to capture. And that can lead to a part 2, a full feature film. And like Twin said, man, curriculums within schools, colleges, whatever, you know what I mean?
I wouldn't even mind seeing a series like The Godfather of Harlem.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Because
I would like to see that if we could do that.
It's a lot that's left out there that we wasn't able to put out there. It was so much that Twin left on the cutting room floor that, you know what I mean, we wasn't able to do into this 90-minute documentary. So, you know what I mean, hopefully, man, like I say, if we can find the right home for it, whoever is fortunate enough to get it, you know what I mean, they expound on it and they bring more into this.
And then since we have done it, so many people has came to us. I remember I did this, and remember we did
like the young lady that has the cigarette Newport film.
Remember we did the Q&A.
Picture frame.
So there's so many different other parts that we could grab and just pull it together.
Yeah.
Policies. Remember the warden came to the first screen.
Yeah, shout out to Miss
When I talked to
Posey.
her, she like, man, I want to hook up with this person, this person.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a never-ending story, especially when you're dealing with so many years.
Yeah, facts.
Let me ask you this. What do you say for the people that say this, that they haven't seen it? They say, man, that's just another prison story. I seen one prison story. I seen them all.
Well, nah, this is not just a prison story. You know what I mean? This is
History.
This is history, and these are experiences, man, that, you know, real men went through, real inhumane conditions, man, that we were subjected to. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure you remember, man, when we didn't have no food behind the wall. They bought us a slice of toast and some fruit cocktail for breakfast. Yeah. A slice of toast and fruit cocktail. You feeding grown men. Mm-hmm. One piece of bread and a little cup of fruit cocktail, man. And that's when the riot blew up.
Yeah.
So remember it used to be so cold in the wall sometimes, especially on that bottom tier where the toilet turned to ice.
Yeah, the toilet turned into a refrigerator.
Yeah, I used to set my sodas in my toilet.
Yeah, I mean it was crazy living conditions that we was subjected to, bro. You know what I mean? And this is not just another Lawton. This is not just another prison movie, man. This is you know, history, man, that we was able to, man, capture and bring to life, man, so the people could see what we really went through.
Let me stop you right there in history, because I can't make this up. My next question was, what place does Lorton hold in D.C. history?
Lorton is a real important part of D.C. history. For one, where I took you to the War of 1812.
Mm-hmm.
So when the British came through Bladensburg, Maryland, marched through the Capitol and burned the Capitol down. This directly led to Lorton being built. Because remember,
with the Pulaskis and all that.
Now, remember when they burned the Capitol down, the people, the Congress had to stay and go into this temporary building.
Right.
That temporary building became a boarding house. Then when they moved back to the Capitol, they turned that temporary building into a prison.
Yeah.
That prison captured the Confederates during the War of 1865. Right? The captured Confederates said they didn't want to be in a prison with black people. These were traitors to America. They say we don't want to be in a prison with black people, which made the government, the union, take the black people, put them into the old DC jail, made it overcrowded, and they say, well, now we got to build a prison because the jail is overcrowded.
Right.
So it's almost a direct line from the War of 1812, which is the foundation of America, the United States, quote unquote.
Where we at now?
All the way, a direct line into Lorton being built in 1910.
You could fact check that too.
T is for the tech to tear you apart like threat. E, every day I keep the eagle cocked and ready. F, fuck the fans, cause they flags like Ed Murphy. Leave your ass real dirty with the thermal. L, lay your ass out. I your ass out. Old murder route, yeah, that's what we about. Never change, I remain fucking lame. Teflon, I remain till I cash.
Now when you make it out the struggle and make that money double, you gon' be hated by the ones that say they used to love you. You gon' be the blame for everything, but it's okay though.
People that was written on, rewriting it.